Imam Jaffer As Sadiq Alaihis salam and Mufazzil bin Umar.
One day Mufazzil asked the Imam whether there were in reality auspicious and inauspicious hours, as stated by astrologers and fortune-tellers.
Imam Jaffer replied, "Whatever is related to superstitious, sorcery, magic, voodoo, etc., is condemned by Allah and prohibited by Islam."
Mufassal said auspicious and inauspicious times are revealed by astrologers and they are not magicians.
Imam Jaffer As Sadiq replied, when an astrologer claims to reveal auspicious and inauspicious hours, he becomes a magician.
Mufazzil asked, "Do you mean that all the people who believe in auspicious and inauspicious hours are wrong?"
Yes, they are, replied Imam Jaffer As Sadiq alayhi salam, but we have favorable and unfavorable days.
Mufazzil remarked, it means the same thing as what the astrologers say.
Imam Jaffer replied, "Favorable and unfavorable times are different from what the astrologers say. They depend upon the person himself. We have once very few days, or every 24 hours, favorable times according to our physical condition and temperature. Because many of our inner organs perform some operations in the day time and some at night, the composition and density of our blood changes during different hours of our day and night. When we get up to offer our morning prayers, our blood is 1/5 or 1/4 less dense than what it is when we go to bed at night after our daily chores. When the density of blood is low, how we feel lively and active, and when it is high, we are dull and drowsy. We call them favorable and unfavorable times of our lives."
Then Imam continued, this fact was known to ancient philosophers also. Hippocrates, the Greek physician, has said that our lives perform many functions, but not at one the same time. Every work has its own time. That is why our mood and temperature are more congenial and suitable for certain types of work at certain times of day and night.
Medicine for asthma is more effective when it is taken at midnight rather than any other time. It may not cure the disease, but it will give relief to the patient and help him sleep well. Therefore, to an asthma patient, midnight is an auspicious time for taking the medicine.
He continued, "Food, which makes you lazy and dull, is baleful and sinister, and the time when you are not inclined to work after heavy meals is unproperest time for you. On the other hand, when you find yourself active, full of energy, and fit for work, it is a properest time for you. These are auspicious and inauspicious times of our lives, and not what the astrologers say."
Mufassir asked, can you tell me the number of stars?
Imam Jaffer As Sadiq replied, no one can even guess the number of stars.
Mufazzil asked, "Which is the brightest star in the sky?"
Imam Jaffer As Sadiq alayhi salam replied, what do you mean? Do you want to know how bright they actually are in the sky, or how bright they appear to us?
Mufazzil said, please elucidate your point. I do not follow.
Imam Jaffer replied, "The planets look very bright because they are near to us, but stars are actually far brighter than the planets."
Mufassir asked, which is the brightest planet in the sky?
Imam Jaffer As Sadiq replied, there is no planet in the sky which is brighter than Venus. If you see in the morning or evening during some periods of the year, you will think that it is another moon. Just like the moon, Venus also reflects the light of the sun, but it reflects more light than the moon, because Allah has made it with a substance which is a very good reflector of light.
Mufassil asked, "Which is the next planet in brightness?"
Imam Jafar As Sadiq alayhi salam replied, Mercury comes next in brightness.
Mufazzil asked, which is the brightest star in the sky?
Imam Jaffer replied, "Our forefathers who lived in the desert knew all the bright stars which shine in the sky. When they traveled in the desert at night, they used to find their way by the help of the stars. The brightest star in the heaven is Sirius, the dog star. This star was known to our ancestors who lived in the desert. They knew from where it appears. In every season, the next bright star after Sirius is known as Sumak Ramj Artris. This star was also known to our ancestors who gave it that name."
Then he further continued, if you are interested to know more about stars and degree of their brightness, I will give to you the maps of constellation and stars prepared by Ptolemy. You will find in these maps of constellation and stars prepared by Ptolemy, you will find in these maps the names of constellation and stars and their situations in the sky. There is also a table attached to the maps in which are mentioned the names of the bright stars and degree of their brightness.
Mufazzil said, "It would be a great favor if you give me these maps."
When the book was brought, he gave to Mufazzil, and Imam said, Ptolemy did not know that the stars shine because they generate light themselves, and that many of them are far brighter than our sun. This proves that they are larger in size and have more matter than our sun has.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike, for coming in.